Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we looked at MMTLP and the focus was on updates with regard to QSIP. In today's video we're going to be following on with an important update shared by hamshortkiller and also John Brda earlier today in a space chat, and we're also going to be doing an important update for ticker symbol MULN Mullen Automotive. So before we get started, I'd like to wish everybody a happy and prosperous new year, and hopefully 2023 is a year of good fortune for everybody. So let's start by having a look at what's happening in terms of the market from a summary point of view for 2022. So we can see here, headline from the Wall Street Journal, US stocks 2022 is a year with almost no record highs. So it's finished, the S&P 500 has finished with just one record close, the lowest tally since 2012. So a very bad year. If we have a look at the overall heat map for the S&P 500, we can see almost a clean sweep of red, and stocks even such as Apple, Google and Microsoft and Amazon down in excess of 50%. So one of the worst trading years here. So what I'm going to share with you here is a comparison of some important stocks compared with 2021 and 2022. So 2021 we can see Nvidia was up in excess of 127%. This year it's down in excess of 51%. Tesla was up last year 51%, now it's down 69%. Apple, one of the safest stocks to hold, last year was up 33%. And now it's down 29%. And it's a similar story elsewhere, but I think one of the worst performing there is Coinbase. Last year that was up 7%, this year it's down 86%. So overall, a very, very difficult year for the market. So let's start by having a look at an update from John Brda shared earlier today. So there was a question asked, and that was how many shares were issued to the brokers. So we did share some information in terms of total number of firms was 105. And some of the key data shared here, TDA obviously by far the largest, they were issued with 53 million shares, Fidelity 21 million, Robinhood 12.8 million, and surprise, Citadel 2,900. So certainly an interesting figure there, and obviously there was many more as well, but these are the key interesting ones. And in terms of another update, there was a question asked, and I think John Brda was not able to answer this question, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody else has any insights to it. And the question was, for example, we know MMTLP was not supposed to be tradable, and let's just say that is the situation that did actually develop. So if that was an actual situation that did develop, and in terms of how they wanted it, so all the shorts who were trapped and hadn't covered, how would they have covered if MMTLP never became tradable? Because we know NextBridge is a private company. So the situation is we don't know. It is a question, and it is an interesting situation. So we know MMTLP was created, and one of the reasons for that, it was supposed to allow them to cover in terms of what's happened now. Obviously the situation has developed and become something completely unpredictable with the U3 halt. So and in terms of the right now, we're still in a situation we're trying to work out exactly how many shorts there are, but what we do know is that they have not closed, and this is one of the key concerns that we have all agreed with. So let's now have a look at some information shared by hamshortkiller, so who was on the space chat earlier today. So one of the key recommendations he made was in terms of complaining to FINRA, complaining to the SEC. So he recommended to do this on a persistent level. So for example, you call every day, you complain every day, and you continue that until you get a response. So that's important to do that in terms of persistence, and that is one thing they don't like. Another thing that he also suggested is keeping a log or a list of trades that you could have made, but you are now unable to make because of your money currently held with Nextbridge in terms of the shares for MMTLP that you no longer have access to. So paper trades would be one example. So it could be recorded in a diary in terms of a log. So for example, if we say just a few days ago we saw Tesla trading close to $100, let's say you would have bought that for $108 and you would have sold that for $120. So that could be a trade that you log in a journal. You look at the gain that you've missed out on, so keep a record of that, and then obviously that is something that you can continuously do to register and log your loss of potential profits because of the money tied up. What I'd now like to do is show you the page for making a complaint through FINRA. So this is again one of the recommendations from hamshortkiller. I'm sure you've also already made complaints to the SEC as well. So this is an example of the complaint, and we can see here it's titled Investor Complaint Form. So the link for this is on the Twitter handle. So you can register this complaint as a firm or as a personal investor. But let's have a look at the key details that you will be required to fill in. And on here we can see the key things. First of all, you'll have an option for primary violation, the amount in dispute. So this is the amount in dispute. What you can potentially write down in here is your expected gains. So if we have a look at some of the previous videos we looked at, obviously in terms of the play and how it could have played out over the last 2 days, especially if the shorts would have closed their positions, we could have seen MMTLP hit maybe even in excess of 4 figures. So you could say amount in dispute, let's say you've got 100 shares times $1,000. And that could be your amount in dispute. Start date and finish date. Is the activity ongoing? It's not an ongoing complaint because it's not an ongoing trade because the trade has been finished. So again, depending on your investment, depending on the number of your shares, you can fill this in and provide any detailed of correspondence you've made with your broker and submit this to FINRA for them to investigate. And finally, I'd like to finish off by having a look at some updates for MULN Mullen Automotive. So headline here, December the 29th, it states here, Mullen iGo commercial EV arrives in Europe. So this is great news, and this also led to a good recovery in the stock, and it went, I think it was up in excess of 25% on the Thursday, and it also did reasonably well on the Friday. So a good, nice green finish to the year for Mullen Automotive, although it's still extremely undervalued. But let's have a look at the news here. It has announced the arrival of the iGo commercial urban delivery EV in Europe, with sample vehicles now en route to Ireland, expected in January 2023. So this is great news. The iGo is designed to bridge the gap between growing demand for quick deliveries, space constraints in dense cities in Europe, and Mullen says the iGo is EU standard homologated, certified, ready for sale for the initial markets in the United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, France and Ireland, with the first vehicles going to Newgate Motor Group based in Ireland. So this is tremendous news. This is an agreement that obviously was signed in November 2022, and I see this being the first step for much more expansion into Europe. And finally, I'd like to finish off by giving a shout out to some of the stocks that we called in our weekly watch list. In the previous video, you'll know that we looked at ticker symbol KALA. So this is a stock you can see here we initially called out on the 28th of December when it started doing exceptionally well, and I think on the week this has been up in excess of 956%. So congratulations to everybody who made some tremendous profits in KALA. I think one of the key pieces of feedback that I have received in KALA is that many people believe they have sold too early, but that's not really too much about a thing to worry about, especially because taking profits is important, especially in stocks that go up like this, and we never know when it comes down quickly. But certainly KLA has been a tremendous call. We also called out MTR, that was up 9% on the week. ARDX, that was up 22% on the week. ORIC was up 25% on the week. TGTX, that was up 36% on the week. So these were some of the best calls. If you'd like to get access to the next weekly watch list, and as well as access to our daily stock alerts, you can certainly join us for less than $9 a month. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.